What's up, everybody? Dante here with White Sox Dave and rock icon legend. Is it an insult to call you a legend at this point? Do you feel old if I say that?
That'd be an insult. That's the greatest intro ever.
Absolute rock legend.
You can say it again.
Gavin Rossdale, Bush lead singer, here at Salt Shed in Chicago, which, you know, this place is like brand new, right?
I heard it's like the third show.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
What do you think of it?
So far, so good. We just played, where is it? In New York, and Hammerstein Ballroom, and these legendary places, and it's really fun, except like shitholes backstage. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You're tall, you can't stand up, you hit your head everywhere. Anyway, they just kind of do it in a certain way. Here, it's nice because they kind of set it up a little bit sweeter, you know?
That's Chicago versus New York. Dave loves New York.
New York City's the worst place on planet. Just like turn it into a parking lot as far as I'm concerned.
No, you like Chicago? This isn't your first time.
I love it.
Here.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I've got good friends that go way back here, so whenever you travel and there's places that you know people, that makes a big difference. So we got Steve Albini, who I've made records with many years ago, stayed friends with him, hoping he's coming tonight. He's a king of the underground music worldwide, and he lives in Chicago. And Grant Ashatz, who's a chef who lives here, is a friend of mine. So I kind of got the music and the food. That's my life.
Lot of that.
That's my life.
Grant is arguably the best chef in the world.
Arguably, absolutely. I would argue for it.
Did you hit Alinea?
Last time I was here, I took my kid there for his birthday. They came out on tour with us, and the highlight was not the shows, but going to dinner at Alinea.
Oh, yeah.
The dessert on the table, and they still talk about that meal, you know, so we're very lucky to know him.
That's awesome.
I was supposed to go to Alinea last night, actually. Got canceled last minute.
I can't picture you.
I can't picture me at Alinea either. I'm a scumbag. When you're in,
we're all scumbags.
Yeah, we're all scumbags at heart. Everybody is. It's just I don't try to hide it. Other people do. I just wear it on my sleeve.
I sing about it.
Yeah, exactly. The whole genre is about it.
I don't sing about being a scumbag, but
being a scumbag, like Billy Joel says, I'd rather laugh at the sinners than die with the saints, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So, you're in Chicago at Salt Shed. Already broke that down. Who's your favorite musician from Chicago? You could go all the way back to early blues, all the way up through current. We don't say his name anymore, but if you want to, we can say his name.
Chief Keef.
Chief Keef. There you go.
So what are you thinking?
That was not gonna.
I was very impressed that you know Chief Keef.
Yeah, I love that guy. Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
There you go. Life is full of surprises.
That's great. Talk about the show tonight. You guys are here for Q101.
Yeah, well, we go back with Q101, and I was here a little while ago. Went in to visit the program director, Troy Hansen, and he said, we're opening up this venue. We want you to be part of this first night we're doing. You want to do that? So one of my favorite things about life is how you have these abstract conversations with people, and then bang, you're in it. So here we are now. It's sold out. Third night of this place. Any show
Still not
here.
even finished.
It's awesome. Yeah, as long as there's doors and roofs on and like good sound, it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
What didn't they finish? What's left?
I have no idea, but I know they just started. It was last weekend. I think they had an EDM band here, but once it's done, I'm gonna live here. I'm gonna just make this my little permanent room right here.
You should do that.
I got everything you need up here.
So I gotta ask. This is what 30 years of touring for you now.
Something like that.
How do you still look as good as you do? The tour life is not an easy life.
Yeah, it's not an easy life. I'm kind of beaten up. I feel like a pirate. I've jumped and hurt one. I was feeling great. Then you bust a knee a little bit, doing something. Then this leg got, you're always playing hurt. It's just like sport. It's like anyone in sports. You just play hurt. And if it's not the voice, I got to be on voice rest. But it's crazy because you spend all the days thinking, what the fuck am I doing in my life? And then every night going, this is what I love to do. This is so great.
Oh, yeah.
And it's only because I have kids that I go home, you know, because I have so many kids. So they're waiting for me to go home. And I have my one kid turning 9 this weekend. So I'm having a big dinner Friday night, magician, and then Sunday, the whole year from his schools coming.
Magician?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, it's the best. We've got a really great guy, Johnny Woo, and he's wild. He just blows your mind. You know, all that kind of like crazy stuff with numbers. He does all these like numerical things, and then he shows you a picture of it that he took of that number before he came to the house, and crazy stuff. He'd blow your mind. So I'm finishing strong and then going home strong, and that's it.
It's home out in L.A.
Yeah.
No. How you like it out there?
I like it. I mean, I was going to say, to your point, it's like I love having a really rich life where I've got so many things going on, and it's such a gift. You know what I mean? That you got a tour, and you can't really complain about that because it's amazing, and people every night screaming at you and really happy about it. And then I get to go home where I have like healthy kids that are happy and living their life and just want me to get home so they can be independent and live. They split between me and their mom, so when they're with me, so it's like a guy's house. So it's kind of a little bit more chill, and that's a beautiful thing. You know, I've got so much to be grateful for. So that's it.
I love whenever we do these interviews. It doesn't matter if it's musician, athlete, whoever. Kind of like getting them on the human level, because like I'm 34 now, so I was 6 or 7 when 16 Stone came out. It was obviously a massive. Actually, let me start there real quick. 16 Stone, first album, correct? How did you have to follow that up? Because that's like pinnacle of success, you know? It's like, holy shit, how do we beat this?
I followed it up with recording with Steve Albini from Chicago.
And Abbey Road, right?
At Abbey Road, and the record was #1, so it was okay. But yeah, I always thought that my career would have gone better if I just repeated that record over and over. Would we be at the Enorma Dome now? Would we be opening the Salt Shed? Would be at the Salt Stadium, you know? But I just went on this path, and life is just like that. You just follow where your heart goes, and just the fact that I'm still doing it now, and you know, it's had #1 records, sold out shows, is pretty crazy. So you know, it's not the biggest career ever, but it's a really great. It's like it got this kind of steady power to it that kind of goes undetected, like almost like some kind of wild submarine.
Are you? Well, go ahead.
I mean, at this point, how many times platinum is that album? I remember in the 90s, it was like...
It was the album.
It was like quintuple platinum, and that was 20-something years ago.
Yeah, I hope it just kept on going. Like, you know, whatever, I don't know. What does it matter now? What matters is that we're sold out.
Yep.
The new stuff is great. You know, we're not making new records where people are like, that's great, but just could you play the old stuff? People are digging, playing the new stuff as well. So we're kind of doing everything wrong, because you're not really meant to do that. You're meant to just play all the old stuff and a couple of new. So we're mixing it up, and there's lots of young people at the shows, multi-generational. We're having a good time.
How have you seen your guys' sound evolve over the last
I think that, you know, because with studios, the way that studios are, you can get really good in studios now. Like, I'm an idiot in the studio, but I can engineer myself. I can make the track sound massive. I can make it sound there's like 6 of me. I can be a keyboard player. I can be a drummer. I can put this shit together, and so I progress the songs I present way further. But then also my band are also really good at that stuff as well. So we're all kind of more articulate in the studio. It used to be before a bit of an acoustic, bit of a drum beat, and like just, I don't know, slap it together, rehearse it. Just now it's a bit more sort of, we're like all like producers. We just make music in a room, and it works, you know? So
what have you guys seen in terms of the scene and the trends now here in America versus back home in England?
Well, I mean, I just seen right now hip-hop ruling the world and pop music ruling the world, and rock music has this kind of weird space where it's kind of, no one knows if it's alive, dead or alive, but yet we have this massive touring world and massive numbers. I mean, our numbers are still the hundreds of millions of plays, and played a 500,000 people through the summer, and last summer we did. So I don't know. I just know that people are thirsty and they're hungry and they don't get satisfied enough. You just keep putting new stuff out, playing new songs, just keep doing it, posting. It's crazy. People thirsty for life.
You see, you're being a little humble right now because two of our co-hosts, one of them's Kenny Karki. He was a founding member of AWOL Nation.
Right.
Another one's Johnny Congo. He's in the band Congos. Kenny's Diamond and Johnny. He's a platinum recording artist. Because we were kind of ping-ponging questions back and forth to them, like, hey, you guys are in alt rock, you know, what should we ask them? And they both said that you're kind of spearheading the drive to give guitar rock and roll music right now, and you've kind of taken that upon yourself over the years because it seems like, you know, it's not what's popular right now per se.
Yeah, I mean, my thing about that is that I've always, you know, to that point, I think that too many rock records sound kind of anonymous, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's when you hear the songs or the bands with the great singers and they're doing something with the music that you start to notice them. So for me, I'm just always trying to create a hybrid. I really like really heavy music, super heavy, riff stuff on this last few records, super heavy, and yet still trying to sing in a melodic way, like not singing on riffs whatsoever. And so that hybrid, I really like that. And so I think anyone who's in whatever genre of music you make, you kind of make it as good as you can so that, you know, people like that style. So yeah, I want to make rock records that turn people onto rock music, you know. And then, you know, they have Bad Omens is a great young band that are happening. You know, the Deftones consistently great. You know, there's certain rock bands that Slipknot still leading the way with unbelievable songs.
We just interviewed Jay Weinberg last week.
Their drummer. We just talked to him.
Right. It's funny because it's in some ways they don't get enough credit for being as amazing as they are because of the whole mask thing, because of the way they look. But at the same time, when you check them out and what they play and how they play, they're devastatingly good. I mean, they're like another level. It's just like, oh my God.
Told the story. What do you think of Machine Gun Kelly? And you can be honest.
What do I think of him? I mean, I just think he's just finding his way and doing his thing, and you know, success pisses a lot of people off. So it just, you know,
nailed it.
It's. I don't think his music's any good, but last year at Ride Fest, I'm sure you guys played Ride Fest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was at Ride Fest. It's 2021 now, so a year and a half ago. Slipknot and Machine Gun Kelly were playing at the same time. This is when they got in their little tiff.
Right. Oh yeah.
And I left Machine Gun Kelly, and I never thought I'd find my way at a Slipknot concert. It was one of the coolest experiences of my life. It was, my face was melting off. It was fucking incredible. Yeah. So yeah, like, give those guys a shot if you're listening and you're like, I'd never go to do it once. You'll like it. You'll have a time of your life there.
Yeah. They're amazing. I mean, you know, with him, it's just, you know, he went for that pop punk style. For instance, I like the English or original punk as such, but it's just not my thing. But like, for instance, my kid, he's 16, he loves that.
Probably loves it, yeah.
He loves it. It talks to him. So, you know, it's just how it goes in music.
And I think, not to turn this into a Machine Gun Kelly interview, but it's kind of turning people that wouldn't necessarily be into all
I'd agree
music
with that.
onto the genre and kind of opening that
just
up.
Just because of how he give, like, his general vibe.
I mean, that's honestly, like, I want to follow up Dave's question with this. I mean, you guys got me into alt music,
right on.
Alt rock. What's it like being told that you were a pioneer of an entire genre, pretty much?
Well, I love that. But of course, it's like real compliment, but I don't know. I mean, just each and every musician is just trying to do the best they can on any given day, and that's it. I mean, I think that for some reason I'm really drawn to that music that we make, and whenever I've tried to kind of gone away from it a little bit, or did a solo record with less guitars, it doesn't feel right. So I just love being where we're at, and I feel like we're better than ever, which is a really funny thing to think about because I really feel that.
So, I mean, growing up, yeah, I was like 12 years old when you guys hit the States, and it was like you, Oasis, and then there was the whole grunge
New
scene
British
here.
Invasion, yeah.
But you guys were so big. I mean, I have to say this because she'll kill me if I don't, but my sister's bedroom was all posters and magazine cutouts of you, the entire fucking room. And as much as I wanted to like hate on you, I was like, guys, fucking music's unbelievable. Like, band's so
Thank you.
so good. And I remember reading Spin, Rolling Stone, everything I could to find out about you, because you guys weren't American. It was hard to, you know, figure out like where you guys came from, backstory, and all that. And I still remember you were really influenced by the Pixies in the punk scene growing up. What was that like being in that? Are you from London? As a kid coming up, and how much did that turn you on to music and make you want to do it for a living?
Yeah, I think that the punk thing just gave me an attitude. That gave us an attitude. We were just kids, but it was just seeing this like standing up to authority. I've always been allergic to authority. I don't like, the police make me nervous. At school, I was always in trouble. So I'm always like, I just got a guilty gene, you know. I'm sure. No, I'm clean. I'm good. You know, I don't know what I've done wrong, even if I haven't done anything wrong. So I think with the punk music, it just spoke to kids, you know, and I think that's maybe what the pop punk thing is now that, you know, we're talking about earlier. It just gives, if you feel independent in your heart, and then you find a sort of a genre or a mindset that just strengthens that resolve, you know, you go, I like that, you know, it's all about this concept of standing up for yourself, you can be cool, but just standing up for yourself. And that's what the punk thing was, I think. And also just being a little bit apart, you know, from the mainstream. Sometimes the mainstream is overrated, you know, and it's where the nooks and crannies of culture is where you find the kind of best ideas.
Hell yeah.
I love that. So you guys have been around 30 years now. You guys have to have some stories that, you know, obviously you're not going to tell now because it's a very public forum, but give me a story that's borderline, like you're on the tour bus, you know, starting up, or it could be a private jet. You guys are flying from one city to another. Give me a story that nobody knows. Like, where, you know, not necessarily bodies are buried, but something hilarious that happened. Something like, oh, you guys left a guy at a gas station, like an Almost Famous. You got anything good for us?
The oil slick. We've been oil slicked. We've oil slicked a few people have missed the bus over the years. No one in the band, but, you know, maybe someone like, you know, the merch guy's misbehaving. He goes to, you know, and then he goes to the bathroom, then you leave, and he's oil slicked. But no, you just all the stories. Yeah, they're hard to uncork. We have a pretty good time. But no, we don't leave anyone behind, really.
Yeah. No, nobody left behind.
No man left behind.
You ever get in a fight with a bandmate?
No, not too bad. There's been no. And that's the best thing about this band, is that even if it's real difficult, you know, being in close quarters with everyone for so long.
Months on end. Oh, I understand.
It's no joke, but I think there are some bands that have a cynical side where they maybe don't get along so great. They just tour to make money and stuff like that. And I think the best thing that I'm happiest about with us is that it's a good vibe. There's a good friendship. You know, it's like, even if we're going to annoy each other at times, like brothers.
Yeah, exactly. You might get
buddies.
pissed off at each other, but 2 minutes later you're fine.
Everything is good. Everything is good.
What is the songwriting process like for you? How did you start to immerse yourself in that? How did you learn how to write songs? I mean,
I was so desperate to not get a job that I just convinced myself that I should be a singer, and that's what I should do. And I used to have a cassette recorder.
Seriously?
I met a friend of mine, Sasha, I began my first bands with, and I would write these songs. I mean, they must have been terrible. I don't even know what they were. Sing stuff into it, write a load of bullshit words, sing them into a cassette recorder, be like, that's the song, put some chords to that. And I just forced my way in, you know what I mean? It's just that sort of 10% talent, 90% motivation. and just find my way. And that's all, you know. I was in love with music for years before I ever thought I could make it. You know, I just enjoyed it. It was in my spirit. And then I helped my sister's boyfriend carry his bass to punk band rehearsals and rehearsal rooms, and was around that world, but I never thought I'd be in it. And then when I was really faced with the job, I was thinking, I got to have a better thing to do than, I got to figure this out. I can't be going to get a job right now. What if I could sing, you know? So I tried it out, and here we are.
When did you know you made it, and how long between like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to be a cube rat or something for the rest of my life, was it from when you did make it? Like, what was the feeling like? You like, you know, look out to 50,000 people at Wembley or however many it holds, and you're like, holy shit, I sold this?
Well, it was actually probably like about 600 people at CBGB's in New York City.
Yeah.
That was the first show we had in America, where people had heard the record on the radio, and that was the first time where I was like, oh fuck, this could work out. This is good.
That's
We got
awesome.
Something is wild here. It was just a packed club, but it was just we'd never had that. You know,
Right.
we'd never been on the radio and things like that. So that was where it was like, okay. And then it was just like a case of one foot after the other, because they were on tour for like 2 or 3 years, playing those clubs, playing the theaters, then into arenas, and that was it, you know. And yeah, that's how it went. So it's going in there that I was like, okay, something is really up here, you know, because I didn't know much about it. You know, I'd made the record, then I went back to work because 16 Stone, the distribution got screwed up. We got dropped by the distribution company. So I went back to work, and I was like, oh well, I made a record, you know, that's cool. I'm not a complete loser. I made a record. Fuck it, all you all. And then boom, we came to America because the song got on the radio, and that was it.
So America was like,
Yeah,
who
I
you guys-
am the American dream.
I love
I
it.
literally am the
No,
American dream.
that is the truth. Yeah.
I really am. I mean, that's why I've really, you know, I have American children. I'm nationalized American, half English, but I am the American dream. I'm like one of the millions. So it's a very beautiful connection for me, for America. It's like,
You have a great
no joke.
outlook on stuff.
It's really I wish I had your outlook on stuff. I
This
just
is
hate
me at the
everything.
end of a tour.
I think
Imagine what
everything
I'm like at the
sucks.
beginning. Imagine what I'm like at the beginning of a tour.
What song that you've wrote is the most meaningful to you?
I just began writing a few new songs because we're talking about greatest hits next year or later this year, and also we've done a song for an extra for the deluxe version.
Awesome. So what can we expect coming up in the next year for Bush?
More super heavy songs,
Yeah.
because
Love
people
it.
liking that. There's another one coming up soon, brand new, called "All Things Must Change." No, that's a world premiere reveal.
When does that drop?
It's soon, next few weeks.
Okay.
I don't know exactly. They don't tell me. They say write one. So, and that's coming out. And we just did a song with Amy from Evanescence. She came on stage with us at the Ryman in Nashville. And it was such a beautiful performance. She sang a song from this new record, 1,000 Years, that we're going to release that as well.
No way.
Oh,
It's
wow.
incredible. She elevated this band like stratospherically. It sounds so good with her on it. I'm just like the Christmas tree, and she's like the perfect decoration all over. I'm just holding it down, and she's just like, it's definitely like about 50 times better with her. So cool.
I'm gonna have to look this up on YouTube.
Yes,
I hope somebody got a
Yeah. But I mean,
you guys are releasing that.
We're gonna release it. Same time. It'll be on the deluxe. It's so beautiful. It's like the best song we ever did because she's on it.
Amazing. Awesome. Don't want to take up too much more of your time, but something that he got some water. He's good now. Something that our fans love hearing from, legends such as yourself. They're in the music business themselves, trying to make it, grinding, dealing with, hearing 100 no's. what is a piece of advice you would give them, or you would have given yourself if you could have back in your late teens, early 20s?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that no is the most common used word when you're trying to do anything. You know, people stop you the whole time. I mean, I still get told no all the time. And you'd think that I would get more yeses than I would.
Who
you
tells
think.
Gavin Ross?
Yeah,
no?
that's
I would love to
it's
know.
questionable.
I mean, in my band.
Oh, all right,
Oh, okay.
You know.
Come here, Julie.
But I think the most important advice really is. Yeah, the most important advice for anyone who's doing it, it's a really weird one, because you have to have this instinct of when you should listen to people and when you shouldn't. And that's the hardest
line.
That's the hardest weather vane to get, because you know, you have to have an intrinsic self-belief you're going to make it happen, because that's how you manifest stuff. But at the same time, you take on board, you know, you cherry pick pieces, because not everyone's going to be wrong, and some criticism is right and constructive. But the main thing is just finding that belief to believe in yourself, because what I always found was that I always thought people said no to me in my life, that people said no to me at the beginning because they thought I couldn't sing. And then weirdly in my life, my voice became my most powerful tool. So go figure, like if I had listened to people, I never would have got to that point.
Right, you wouldn't be here right now.
I think the bottom line is that most people don't have time for you. They see you at face value. So when people judge you, they're only judging you where you're at. They're not judging you where you might get to. So only you know the distance between where you're going to get to and where you are that day. And the main thing is just to work at your craft so that you get to where you want to go. That's it.
Where did all this self-esteem come from? That, I mean, to be young and be told, yeah, you're not a good singer when you want to sing. I mean, that's not easy to, you know, just shrug off.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's even more impressive that you said, you know, fuck off, I'm going to keep doing this.
Yeah, well, I didn't have any better ideas. And so
You just really didn't want to work.
and
huh?
I didn't, well, but the thing is, I really work at that, you know. I was like, I just really,
What did your parents think?
I think they just they just felt bad for me, you know what I mean? Because they were like, oh, you know, he's really trying.
Oh yeah.
And I was still working, you know. I looked after myself. I would still do stuff to pay my way, and still worked. But never gave up the idea of being in a band. That's all I did, and I made sure I only did jobs that I was never any particular use. You know, I worked on building sites and I painted houses, and so nothing where I could be of any value. If I was going to be of value, then someone might entice me to stay and be, here's some money. This is on like $50 a day.
What was the worst job you ever had?
Probably this job I did in this place, Cricklewood, and I was like going under the floorboards with my friend Ben Rush, and we did this house, and I had to go under the floorboards and cleaning out the, you know, the kind of that sort of, what do you call it? You know, like insulation.
The insulation, yeah.
and it's
That
sort of
stuff's, like,
mold
toxic,
insulation
too.
from under the floor. And we were kids, and there's no, I mean, I'm all right. So I'm just healthy.
No-
so I was
no
all right.
asbestos?
I survived it. I dealt with the asbestos, but so that was like pretty bad. There's one time I was on the beach on Zuma Beach. I was working with my friend. I was on a video at 5 a.m. when I first came to LA. After my second band failed, I thought I came on this odyssey to LA. And I was on the beach with my friend Sean Mortensen. I was working in the art department on a video for Jake Scott. And it was a Kirsty MacColl video, lovely Kirsty MacColl. And we had these like light, like filters, like red filters, and we were filtering the light like this at 5 a.m. He's looking at me and he mouthed to me, "What the fuck are we doing with our lives?" I was like, "I don't know," but we're in LA, you know.
Was the boss an asshole?
No. My boss was my friend. I grew up with him, Jake. So he was fine. That was getting some good illegal work because I needed the money. But that was a bit of a. I did worry about my life at that point. And then after that, I came back to England and I began Bush. So it worked out in the end.
All's well that ends well.
Being an American and a Brit. Notice I said American first. What are your thoughts on this whole Meghan and Harry thing?
I saw that. She looked. I mean, I don't know. She's just pissed everyone off, but I don't even know why. She seems great.
Well, did you see the South Park?
I didn't see that.
You should watch it. It summarizes it pretty well.
I
They
love
keep
South Park.
It's
going on front of TV
unbelievable.
stations saying we just want our privacy. It's like, then why in the fuck are you on TV, you idiot?
Well, that is for sure. It does. Yes, that does make sense, and I do think that. But having watched them, it just, like you feel bad for him. Like he's playing out so much of his pain publicly. That I don't.
Oh,
get.
it's got to be awful.
That
yeah.
I don't get because he's gone through so much, and for some reason he feels better to share it all, and I don't understand that. But having sort of been English, I switched it on and I was like, have a look, and I like how much she pisses off Piers Morgan. He's so annoyed at her.
He's the worst.
He's so annoyed at her, and hopefully they get that privacy that they made a documentary about.
Yeah.
Get it?
We want a privacy tour.
I love it.
We will.
I love it.
But she seems great. She seems sweet.
I
Does she annoy you?
not really. What annoys me is that, I mean, they're not doing themselves favors, but like we're Americans. We don't care about monarchy. It's like, stop going on camera if you want your privacy. But Americans need to stop just shit talking them nonstop. Just ignore them.
Right.
So I don't know. It is what it is to me. But some people do get, I think, hilariously annoyed with them, to the point where I'll laugh at the people for being so annoyed instead of laughing at them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't realize, but my mum's really like annoyed about it all, and like I mentioned it to her, and she's off. I had to hold the phone. It was like, I don't get it. You know what I mean? People get really upset about it. I mean, it's funny in England. If you're English, like the royal family, it's an incredible tourism thing. It's the kind of something about the pomp and ceremony, and yet at the same time, it's sort of hilarious and doesn't make sense, and at the same time, it's kind of like it is England,
Yeah, it's tradition.
It is
sure.
England, and we do love that.
Hundreds and hundreds of years.
We do love that.
Yeah.
It's funny.
We were told before this interview that you have one of the best ears in rock music too. Who are some bands that we should be listening to?
That nobody would know.
Not
nobody.
Nobody would know, but
yeah.
who are some groups out there that you're really into right now?
Well, I said that band Bad Omens.
Yeah, you shouted them out.
They're a really, really impressive band.
Where are they from?
I don't know.
Talk about Silverstones. Or Silverstone.
Yeah, Silverstone Pickups. Well, I've actually never met them, but I really love them. I think they're an amazing band. And when I was doing the promo for this show, I remember going, and join us, Q101, for the Soul Shed inaugural night with our great friends, Silverstone Pickups. I was like, I don't even know them whatsoever, but they're a great band, so I'm happy to see them. But so I don't know. Yeah, that's really. There's a few people, but I like that band Wet Leg. They're pretty
fucking
impressive and quirky and cool, and got that sort of 4AD kind of Breeders-ish thing going on, and just clever and cool,
They just won a Grammy.
as they
Did
deserve.
you just win a Grammy? Yeah.
I once did a masterclass at the Grammy school, and I went in there. It was a while ago now, and I went in there and I was like, listen, and it was really well attended. I was like, if anyone came here to understand how to win a Grammy, this is the wrong class, because I got no fucking idea. I've only had like a couple of successful songs, but I can't get a Grammy.
No, I
to save
love
my
that.
life.
That's great.
So the Grammy's not big on rock. Yeah, it's definitely a blind spot with rock music.
Does that piss you off? That pisses me off, and I'm not even in the industry like you are.
It's just.
Like why? Like obviously, we
I
all know
always
the
feel
answer,
like
but
we live on the outside of stuff. We live on the outside of things, and I've never felt. I felt part of the people, but never felt part of the sort of. I don't know. I feel more part. I've always felt more part of the people, in a way, and so I never expected to be. There's loads of bands that I love that don't have Grammys, so I always think a bit like that.
Seeing how like bastardized pop music is, though, I mean, you would never want that. Not life, but you would never want to be in that position, would you? Where
35 Grammys and a private jet. Fuck it, I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll
you would
sell out
sell
for
out
anything.
You would sell out.
Hell yeah. No, I don't. So what? There's no such thing as selling out anymore. You just do what you can.
That's true.
Monetize your life.
What's the difference? Yeah.
But I mean,
When we came up, there's a whole thing about selling out. You couldn't. It was like really kind of like being low key, not selling out. No, now that's all over with. It's like, the more you can show, push your life in other people's face, the better.
yeah, that's got to be weird.
Well, it's just how it is. But I don't have the jet to flash. Else I might.
Last question I got before we wrap up. Did you become an American citizen just so you could tell American jokes? And can you give us your best Yankee like accent impersonation, just ripping on us or something?
Well, first off, when I began to have kids, I thought it was really weird to just have a green card or not be, you know what I mean? It was like weird to just be not the same country as my kids, not the same. So what I did is naturalized, and it was funny because the guy said they said, "Do you want to have a private ceremony downtown in a judge's chambers, or do you want to go to Del Mar Racetrack where we just played? We just done a show there, but I was going to go and stand there with all the kind of
It's so beautiful there.
Yeah, it is.
It's but it's an incredible experience when you go with everyone who's naturalized, because you imagine that it's me and everyone else's American dream that comes true, right? Whoever you are. But I opted for the judge's chambers because it was sooner, and it was intense because you have to actually last minute you have to denounce your country. And I was like, whoa, no one, I was like, no one told me that. Are you here of your own volition? Anyone put you up to this? I was like, damn, it was a judge. You know what I mean? You can't. I mean, I told you about my whole thing with authority.
Yeah.
So I was already nervous. I was like, am I in trouble? What's going on? And so I was like, okay. But it turns out what's beautiful is that England, you can't leave England. It's a girlfriend that won't leave you. You can't. So you can. So it's half now. It's perfect. So it's
Perfect. So you can denounce them and they still accept you.
Yeah, they just think you're going through a phase.
Yeah.
It's just a phase.
It's like that Seinfeld episode.
It's
You can't break up there.
It's just a phase.
Exactly. Well, this was fucking awesome, man. You are
You're a legend, man.
as
Thank you.
advertised. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for
appreciate
taking
you.
the time.
Thank you.
I
Enjoy
can't
the
wait
show.
to see the show tonight. What time you guys hitting the stage?
9.
Nice.
It's gonna be
What-
great.
Do you still get nervous at all?
I got nervous the other day when Amy was singing with us at the Ryman. She ruined the whole night for me. It was the best night of my life, but the day I was tortured. So I get nervous when I sang at like Chester Bennington's memorial, or when I sang with David Bowie when he died. I sang with his band. So that when I sing for other people in those situations, I'm like a mess.
Yeah.
A
You know
lot
what I
of
mean?
pressure.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
When I sing with us, I don't feel that at all. So yeah, I don't feel so nervous now. But I just, I always think that you play every show like it's your last. That's it. There's no other way to play it. So I just gotta gotta work out all the kinks and try and get like nice and strong.
Well, we're gonna go let you do that now, huh?
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks
yeah,
again.
appreciate you, man.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Gavin.